again, if you are a woman is naturally submissive. Submission is not for the weak. Submission is simply taking your place. And what is your place? The weaker vessel, not the weak vessel. The Bible calls a woman a weaker vessel, not a weak vessel. So the fact you are submitting does not mean you are a weak vessel. It just means you are a weaker vessel. To be loved, pampered, cared for. You are the baby. But when you don't want to be the baby and you want to be the bubble, that's where the problem will come from. So that means the nature of the woman is to be pampered, is to be loved, cared for. And so she should submit herself for that pampering and care. That's just what the Bible is saying. So the duty of the woman is to yield. Stay in your place. Your place is not, I must be the one to decide where we are going to live. But you know the beautiful thing about submission? I assure you women one thing. Do you know that predominantly the man is the head? But do you know, men, do you know that more than 60% of the decision in your house is the woman that makes it? But you are the head. Number one. Sir? Who decided what you will eat when you get back home now? That decision of food, are you the one that make it? If you check where you are living right now, do you realize that when you got the house, you first got permission from the woman? Say, come and see the place. As soon as she's coming, I say, no, hey, how can we? You have, that decision is gone. Is it because you are not the head? You see, but you know why you succumbed? You succumbed because you loved her by giving her the privilege to come and see. That love is what has broken you. So, by virtue of the fact that you showed love, she will show submission. But most men don't show love and they expect the woman to show submission. Check it. The school the children attended, the woman, most of the times, I'm not saying all of the time, makes the decision. What would we eat for dinner? You say, honey, this is what we made for dinner. You did not decide, but you are the head of the family. Do you realize that most of the times when you carry the money, it's time to spend the money, and she makes one or two inputs, something about you tilts in that direction. So you see, women are actually the ones that make more of the decision. That is, if they submit. On the other hand, turning it the other side, women, if you submit to a man, he will most likely love you. It is difficult for a man not to love a woman that submits. And it is very difficult for a woman not to submit to a man that loves her. I said it's a two-sided thing. Can you now give us verse 21? This verse 21 is actually where a lot of people don't talk about in marriage and whatever seminars. We don't talk about that one. It is only verse 22 we are talking about. Women, submit yourself to your husband. 21. Submitting yourselves what? One to another. In the fear of God. Thank you. Did you see that one? I wish that could be on the screen. Submitting yourselves one to another. So, submission is a two-sided thing. So, you owe the man submission. The man owe you love by yielding himself to you. So in the real sense of it, when we want to now look at love, relationship, it is not one-sided. We all have roles to play to make it possible. We all have duties to carry out. Please take note of the fact that there are exceptional cases. When we say this thing, that does not mean that is what happens in the world, in everywhere in the world. No. There are women that will never. As a matter of fact, I have seen quite a number that if the man says, okay, this is what we are going to do, there will be no peace in the house until that decision is changed. He say, okay, I want us to buy a land at so and so place. And she said, no, that land must be close to my village. It is this one here that we are going to buy. And before you know it, if the man insists on that one, there's going to be trouble in that house. And any married men here will agree with me that you do not want an uncomfortable home. Women are professionals in choking a home. You know, I was talking, when we were talking about love and, is it love and worry or what, the other time, I was talking about how women can make the home, how the joy on the faces of women has everything to do with the progress of the family. As a matter of fact, women dictate the mood of the family. I don't know if you have ever traveled, maybe you went to visit somebody, a relative or so, and his wife is not comfortable with your presence. But she will never mention. Do you know? Or let's say there is a problem in the house. Do you agree with me that if the woman is sad, most likely the whole family will catch the fire of sadness? Have you ever noticed that? Yes. Let the man be sad, though, no problem. If the woman is excited, I don't know if they used to transfer it through the food they give to people or something, but somehow you will notice that the home becomes gloomy. Everywhere becomes tensed. People just begin to, somehow, there is just no excitement. So, it's important. And so, when people understand these things, nobody wants to be choked. So, sometimes, some men just kind of let peace reign, not because that is the decision. So, but at the end of the day, the point here is everybody has duties. Everybody has a role. And it is only when we all play our roles in the family or in a relationship that it can work out. Again, no one person makes a relationship work. And nobody should be made to feel he or she is Alpha and Omega. Well, if he doesn't need me again, I'm still young, still marketable, I'll go. That's the myopic way of thinking and reasoning. Okay? Don't forget, if you have any question or anything to say, always feel free. It should not be towards the end of this. We are not staying long. So don't wait when we are about to begin to lift your hand. I will not call you. We are not staying very long. We are working with time, remember. So earlier you start talking now, the better. I've already seen one hand. So let me round up what I'm saying and then you come up. So you see, there is no one person that has everything. The reason why it is love, it is marriage, is because I need you, you need me. And when I say I need you, you need me, you are still a baby if all you are thinking about marriage is to have sex. As a matter of fact, sex is the cheapest part of marriage. Children don't understand that. They feel that marriage is about sex. When you marry now, you now realize that sex is not it all. You now realize that you can even forget to have sex. When the real things about life and relationship carry you. Sex is very cheap, especially in Calabar, it's 500 naira. So it cannot be everything. Have they reduced the money? They've increased the money because of fuel subsidy and gas. Okay, let's hear you. Let's hear you very fast. Let's hear you very fast. So you see, it is not about sex. Sex is too cheap. A man can get sex anywhere. A woman can get sex anywhere. So the person is not coming to you because of sex. Understand that there is more to marriage.
Praise the Lord. Pastor, I want you to differentiate being submissive and being humble.
And being humble. Okay, she's asking difference between being submissive and being humble. Anybody can be humble. Anybody can be humble. Okay, humility is not submission. Humility is not submission. Remember that submission, it says submit yourself to your husband. Well, you should be humble to everybody. You will not go and submit to everybody. Where some people miss it is some men expect all women to be submissive. So they go to office and they expect that, are you not a woman? You are supposed to, no. The woman is supposed to submit to her husband, not to every man. So don't go out there looking for submission and every woman you see, you say, come on. Now, common woman, they talk to me like that. Is it your wife? A woman can be your boss in the office, and there's no problem with that. She is not a weaker vessel to you. She's a weaker vessel to her husband. So don't look down on women out there because, or women looking down on yourself out there. You see any man, you say, I know these are the stronger vessel. It's relative to your husband. Okay, so submission is yielding yourself to your husband. But of course, humility, meekness is a virtue that you should possess, not putting up pride. Of course, there are women that in marriage actually have pride, because actually for you to be submissive, you need to be humble. For you to be submissive, it first begins with humility. Because it is pride that will make a woman refuse to listen to what her husband has to say. Why should he even be telling me so? Does he even, on what grounds? Now, pride is thinking of yourself higher than supposed. That is pride. You have lifted yourself too high in your own eyes. So you feel, who can talk to me? Why should they talk to me? Why is he looking down on me? Sometimes inferiority complex is what makes people try to put up pride and feel that I will have to show him or show her that I am something. But of course, humility and submission are two different things. Okay? But as I said, for you to be submissive, it begins with humility. It begins with humility. And it's a very, that is why you see women that are not submissive in marriage to their husbands, and even men that do not love their wife. Because if you love your wife, you'll be submissive too. As I said, love is yielding yourself, as we already read. Yielding yourselves unto, like Christ yielded himself and died for the church. So in a way, you see those kind of women and even those kind of men, most times they are frustrated. You know what? There is no way you want to rub shoulders with a man and you will enjoy it. It's not possible. Because by nature, hello, by nature, every man is a fighter. By nature, every man is a fighter. Yes, he was created that way. And you know, when he has another fighter, it will be a wrestling field. So it is the nature of a man to fight. It is the nature of a man to fight. So the way a woman was created is to get what she wants, not by fighting, but by recognizing him as a fighter, and then you can get anything. Do you know that it is this nature that makes the man able to, it is this nature actually that makes the man most of the times to be malleable, especially wherever he finds respect. I will say that again. The secret of any man, the secret of men is respect. The secret of men is what? Respect. Most of the times, men are broken wherever they find respect. Wherever a man finds respect, he's broken. Let me tell you, do you know, I was talking with my wife on phone yesterday, I think, and we're discussing on some of this. I said, do you know the reason why there is so much boss and secretary sex, oga and house girl sex? Is because of respect. They craved to where they found respect. It is natural. Because a man by nature is a fighter and he cannot stand another fighter. Most of the times when you are a fellow fighter, it's not that they will fight you, but some of those times they will withdraw and look for it elsewhere. So when the house girl is oga, then there is this natural flow that now begins to look like love. I'm not saying it is love, but they drive in that direction. So where you break a man is with respect. Actually, that's the weak point of an average man. Respect. And of course, the weak point of an average woman. Okay, let's hear you, sir. Yes.
Thank you, sir. Yes. Though I'm not wanting to ask a question in regards to what you just said now, respect. It's on the duty, as it were. The man is supposed to love, the woman is to submit. But we have families where, by virtue of training, the men choose to yield, as in they are so flexible. So, and whatever the wife says, you say, honey, it's okay. He does not want trouble. So anything that will bring trouble, it's okay, honey. If you say that one, it's okay. So he's almost like an oh yes member, so long as there is peace in the house. And then the wife, most time, or the woman, seeing that that is happening, she decides to feel like she's cutting the short here. And the people outside, they do not know, but peace is flowing in the midst of this, in this misplaced responsibility. But there is peace in this family. Do you encourage it? You allow this peace to thrive with this disconnected position, or you think there's something wrong with it? There is peace. Don't forget.
Yes, I understand. Thank you. Okay, so to answer that, in that kind of actually there are families like that. And remember, while speaking, I said it's not like this is what happens everywhere. There are exceptional cases. Okay, but you see, there are men that by nature, the men that do this mostly are men that are phlegmatics. Phlegmatics most times don't want trouble. And a good number of women like phlegmatics. Not many women. Someone like my wife ensured she doesn't have phlegmatics. As a matter of fact, the person that she wanted to marry before, that wanted to marry her, not that she wanted to marry, and the guy till today does not talk to me again on phone because he was my good friend. In fact, he was my very good friend, and I didn't know that he was interested in her. So I spoke to her first. So later I told her he's ready. He was assuming that they are dating. That's another thing about phlegmatics. They assume. They don't even have boldness, no balls to come and say, can I marry? Of course, we're all friends. So I have asked someone out. And we were already even moving on a relationship. And then he just assumed that since they're already friends, a relationship had started. So at the end of the day, he said, I married the person he wanted to marry. And the lady asked him, did you ever tell me you want to marry me? He said, yeah, I think there was one time I took you, we went to the cafe. Then we used to have cafe. He took her to the cafe. He was processing his visa to go to Canada. And he said he wanted to process her own too. He said, so just because I thought you wanted to process visa for me as a brother. So I say, yeah, you just took someone to the cafe and started saying you want her to also go to Canada, you know. Open your mouth and say, please, I want you to go to Canada as my wife. Then she will decide. No, at the end of the day, it was her choice to make. And what she told me is, no. She said, no, I can't marry that guy. I will beat him in the house. That's the statement she made. She said she will beat him in the house. So she, of course, you know my wife, she is a strong woman. And she does not want a weak man. Else, she feels if she has a weak man, the man will not be able to take his place as a man. So she carefully, while I was dating, I did not cage her. I knew almost all her suitors. And I kept it free. I said, you can choose anybody. And one thing she did is she intentionally did not want a weak man that she would be the one to make the decision. You know why? Because women, because it is not their duty, there are decisions they cannot make. Take that anywhere. There are some decisions women alone cannot handle. That is why the man is there. And there are also some decisions men alone can never handle. Sorry to say, but that is the reason why I do not encourage single parenting. You know, something happens and the man alone, of course, there are rare cases, maybe death or something. But you see, when a man alone raises children, there used to be a problem. And when a woman alone raises children, there is even a bigger problem. Most of the children raised by women alone, most grow up indisciplined. They grow up indisciplined. Yes. So that's why everybody has a duty and everybody should come together and make it happen, especially in parenting. So you see, in that kind of a situation, yes, there is peace. But you see, there are extreme conditions. One thing about women, the reason why they need a man as a head and as a cover over them is there are places, there are things they cannot do. And not in all situations. Please let me say it. Not in all situations. Most women take it out of proportion when they are given that privilege. Of course, because it is not supposed to be their duty. The wiring of our brain is not the same. The wiring of a man and a woman, we are not the same. We are wired differently. Women think more with emotions, not with this one. So most of the times, I did not say all of the time, so women don't be looking at me like that. Most of the times they think from their feeling, not by logical analysis. So you see, in such a situation, yes, if there is peace, it's okay. Oh. It's okay. The highest is people will be insulting the man. But what if he cannot make decision now? Because some men are actually like that. Some people are Y, some are X. It's not all men that are actually men. So in case you know that you only have a penis but you are not a man, give the person that does not have a penis but is a man. And then I don't know whether the man will be submitting. I don't know. But anyhow, the most important thing anyway is there should be peace. But in all, I think everybody should know their place. And nobody should go out of proportion. Because in most of the cases I have seen, it doesn't go very well in the long run. This thing you describe, I've seen it too. Most of the times, in the long run, you see how the women scatter many things by their decision because they are in charge. Yes. Yes. Who? Okay. Yes. Fast.
I wanted to ask a question in terms of the decision. So what if is it a must in the house, like husband and wife, you want to take a decision in the house in some certain thing that, like, to you, it's a private to you, and you don't want your wife to know, is it a must that you must like call her or involve her in issue? Example, like maybe you want to change environment, but you don't want her to know. You just come home one day and you ask her, let us pack from house. Let's just leave the house for some days, and she want to know why you want to leave the house for some days, and you want to keep it private. You don't want. Is it a must that you must put that?
Okay, thank you. I think basically the question here is, must you tell your wife everything? Isn't it? I think that's your question. That's the summary of the question. Must you tell your wife everything? You want to answer him? The women are itching to answer him. They want to tell you, yes, you must tell her everything. Is that not what you people want to tell him? I already know now. But you can still come and say it with your own mouth. For security purpose, you must tell her everything. There is agitation. You say no. You cannot tell her everything. Of course, women, I know the answer. Why won't you tell me everything? Madam Gift, why not? Okay. Except you want to surprise her. You bought a car. You must not tell her you are buying a car. That one. But the remaining thing, make sure you tell her. That's what she's telling you. Well, this is my own answer. You see, yeah. He said for security purpose, you must not tell her everything. Well, this one say for security purpose, you must tell her everything. The both of you should come out. Come. Okay, wait first. Glow, come and answer. Come.
Praise the Lord. You said for security purpose. Yes, I will agree with him. Because there are some women that cannot keep secrets. I stand with him. Because it's how you discuss your private life with your wife. Maybe your wife has so many friends. Go and say, sister, come. Do you know today my husband still want to buy that land? 8 million. Before you know it, that can attract robbery. That time you have risked the life of your husband. But in other way around, you need to share. Because the Bible said they are one. So that the day you stand in the altar and say, yes, both of you are one flesh and one blood. So you have to discuss some things with your wife. If you know that your wife is not the kind of woman that cannot keep secret, I think it's better you keep it to yourself alone.
Okay. Come.
Praise the Lord. That is why when you fail as a wife, you've given out your husband to the world. Because as a woman, you are your husband's counselor. You can counsel your husband. You give him idea. Make him to trust you. Like my husband, he cannot do anything without telling me. Yes. I'm talking about our family. I also can't do anything without telling my husband. That is the truth that is the fact. It's a fact. So I don't know if I will have coped with another man. Even when they say the men phone, women don't touch. My husband don't have any secret in his phone. Because I can't sell him out. So that is why I said for security reason. Let's say for instance, your husband travel. Like some men do, they will just come, pick their things and come in, he's gone. Assuming he goes out and something happened to him, someone else will be the one to tell the story. When they come to the house, I don't know where I go. So the foundation of every marriage is very, very important. But husband, I cannot go out there and hear what he's planning with someone that maybe someone outside there will come to give me information about him. It's a lie. That's why I said, for security reason, you should know. If you have a surprise for me, during my engagement, he didn't tell me. But those people around me, they knew. Because it was a short-term arrangement. Immediately, the thing burst out. So, please, just trust. If you trust your partner, there will be no secret. Thank you.
Okay.
Praise the Lord. For security purpose, you shouldn't tell her everything. You know, women are emotional beings. You are, let's just say, you are aiming at something, and definitely you don't know what the outcome will be. And you just go and tell your wife, see, oh, this is what I want to do. If it's something that has to do with money, some women, immediately, they'll start making their own budgets. And where they will place you, if you cannot meet up with what your target was, you become a problem in the house. So for you to be on the safer side, though it will be a surprise at the end of everything, that is one. And two, in this life, no matter how secretive you are, you have somebody that knows everything about you. If you don't know, like for instance, if I don't tell my mom everything, I tell my wife. But there are some things I can tell my mom, there are some things I can tell my wife. There are some things if I tell my mom, she will be like, oh, my enemies have started again. And there are some things that if I tell my wife, that means, like, during the process of that thing going on, I cannot just open up everything because it's a matter of understanding. So I will need a man that I can discuss that with, that will understand with me and advise me on what to do. I cannot just wake up and go and start telling my wife, see, oh, I went out, somebody just did this to me, and what do you think I should do? She will now start advising me as a woman she is. Wow, so right. Those are the things, because there are some comments that if anything should happen, you listen from the comment they will give. You know, okay, there are some things you present to her, there are some things you don't present to her, depending on when the thing is over. Then you can now open up everything to her. Because you go and tell her, when you just wake up one day, she start developing a trait for such a person. So, to me, when it's not everything, you just tell her.
Okay, so let me, to harmonize everything, I would say this, okay, that for me, there is really no one rule that runs everything. For me, there is no single rule that runs it all. Because we are different. People are different. I have come to understand who my wife is. Let me put it this way. Let me digress a bit. There are women that are good finance managers. So, I cannot bring a rule that says, don't make any financial decision without your wife. Why? Because there are women that are not good finance handlers. Now, when Mr. AB have understood his wife to be a spender and a squanderer, then he should be able to keep some financial secrets. Of course, it's not because she's a bad person, but because he has understood that she is not good with money. And of course, it's not a sin for somebody not to be good with money. Some women are just extravagant. Some women don't know how to manage. That is them. So I think, as we've said, it's just to have an understanding. Okay, I've understood this woman. She's an extravagant person. She can carry 250,000 and buy hair. Now that we have 350,000, let me not keep it with her, because she has been saying she needs to buy a new hair of 100,000. And this money is the deposit for that land. So, most likely, if a man says, let her not know about that, such a person, for me, will not be making a mistake, because he has understood who she is. In the long run, she will enjoy it. In the long run, she will enjoy it. But as I said, it is not like there is a particular rule that runs everything, okay? But of course, apart from such situations, I think it's important that we let each other know most of the things around our lives. And of course, even in these financial situations, rather, instead of that, we should work on a change. Maybe you could give her some financial training or something. Because it is also not very okay that you live a life where you cut your wife out totally financially. But of course, on the temporal, you might be doing that for your own security. So that is the reason why I would say the two parties will be right. But that is based on the understanding of who they are. So when I have been able to groom my wife to start knowing how to manage certain things. For example, my wife now, no matter how it is, she has been able to learn certain things. Not as if she was like that from onset. She has been able to learn certain things that she's even the one that manages more than me. There are some women that if it's not 5,000 naira, they cannot cook a soup. Yes. But I can assure you that give that same 5,000 to my wife, she will look for where she want to cook that soup to enter like 3 or 4 safe. Not necessarily by buying cheap things. She will go to where they sell the thing very cheap. But of course, another woman can be, no, I don't buy my vegetables if not from Spar. You can know that, at Walkover, they sell beans for 3,000. At Ekor and Nebong, they sell it for 4,000. And they say, I should start transporting to Walkover because of 1,000 naira. No, I beg you. Go here and buy it. You see, another woman can say, I can't wash. Are you not seeing my nails? No, I can't wash. It's not that it's wrong. Go. Dry cleaner comes to wash all the clothes. And who pays? The husband. I'm telling you, it's about understanding. So when you understand the one your own is, you know how to handle it that way. There was a time we were spending money on, I have 2 daughters. So if you have men, blessed are thou. It's just 300 naira you use, you barb the hair. But when it's women, before you enter, at a time, from Port Harcourt, she started learning how to braid the hair by herself. Since then, I stopped paying salon hair. What's that? She was looking at how to cut costs for the family. That's actually the best, but not many women are that way. Not many women are that way. We don't do boutique or so in my house. Because my wife, knowing the cost of clothing when we started out, then in Port Harcourt, she learned how to sew clothes. All she did is has a private machine in the house. So all our wares, she handles it, including the one I'm wearing. She just makes it and we are there. You see, so as it is not one rule runs everything. Okay? It's about, I have understood my wife. But of course, it's not to hate her and say, hey, see, other women are there. They can manage and so see you. You cannot even manage anything. Every time you're cooking 5,000 naira soup that is not even sweet. You have spoiled the matter. So there are certain things you begin to expose such a person to. It can even be your husband. You might also understand your husband in certain ways. It's not as if this thing is about just the women. You can also know the weakness of your husband. No, this man, this is how he is, this is how he is. There are men that if they know that their wife have money, it has finished instantly. That's when they remember that I'm the man. So you mean you have 300,000 naira and I'm here like this, I don't even have clothes to wear? Can you imagine? Are you a submissive wife at all? You don't know what they teach in Love Matters again? Please keep that money in my account. I'm the man, I should be keeping all the money. At the end of the day, you know what that means. The next thing, he won't be coming home early again. Say, I beg, this life now one. Now one. So after work, he goes to take some pepper soup and, enjoy his life. Then by 11 o'clock, he comes and says, don't worry, I don't want to eat, so I'm fine. The next time he check the account balance, you realize it's now 100,000. And if you keep it another one, so at the end of the day, it's about understanding. Yes, whose hand was up again? I think our time is, are we off? Okay, so we won't take further questions. We'll round up this way, okay? So in all, the point is, love is beautiful, love is sweet, but it stands on understanding. When you understand each other, everybody take their place, and everybody stay in their position, we will be happy. Praise the Lord. Hope you